If you've been with us before, thanks for returning. If it's your first time here, please, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit that bell, get the notifications of when we're live in future and when we post other video updates. So today is Cinco Swim. Today is Cinco de Mayo. No, I did not plan to have the mustache like this for today. I didn't even think about it. It just happened to work out that way, if anybody was wondering. But lots of things have happened this week. So we finally named our VC-10. His name is now V, named after the aircraft that the fish's namesake is. Shout out to Tyler Plant 7073 for suggesting that name, and shout out to everybody that voted. I know it took a little while. Just waiting to see some response and see if it got a fair shake, because I didn't just want to pick a name. I don't want to be that guy. I'm trying to make things more so about you guys and the fish than they are about me. Albeit this is my channel, but really this is the channel that belongs to the fish, because that's what this is about at the end of the day. So let's get into a few things real quick, guys. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to take you around the tank now. Let's go ahead and switch you guys around here. Alrighty. So if you guys haven't seen the VC-10 informational video, the featurette, and also the naming video yet, I will put the links down below. Where is our VC-10? There he is. Kind of hard to see. There he comes. So there is V right there, being pushed along there by the one and only Dolph Lundy. That was our last fish featurette video. I can also put a link in the description for you guys for that one as well. So let's talk about who has names in here and who's the boss right now. Well, currently, I still think Tangy, well, yesterday Tangy was the boss, but I think Dolph has kind of reclaimed that, because the V and Tangy here were kind of sparring a little bit, showing off to each other if you saw some of those shorts. But it looks like Dolph has reclaimed his position. And I also think our Star Sapphire is up there in the top 2 or 3 fish right now. I think Tangy and V are trading in and out of 2 and 3 with the Star Sapphire, with whoever's trading out at 3 and 4. Our Bucco, getting some good size to him, getting nice and thick finally, put on some nice good weight since I've gotten him. I've had him about a month right now. If you guys haven't seen that unboxing video yet, check him out. Yeah, Dolph is definitely the boss right now. Look how dark his anal fin is, and he's definitely kind of checking everybody in the tank right now. So we're talking about maybe doing our next fish featurette. Tyler Plant also had suggested that maybe we do it on this Obi. I'm thinking about it. I'm not quite sure exactly what specific Obi it is, as I bought it as just an Obi when it was about the size of a $50. This guy's really grown. I got him, I think, the weekend after 4th of July last summer. So, I mean, basically from the size of a quarter to, it's kind of hard to tell the perspective right now from where he is, but almost the size of my hand. So, and my hand is about 7.5 inches. So I would say this guy is pushing about 6 inches right now, if he would turn for you. It's also a really tall fish, kind of chunky, but his name is Richard because he's a little bit of a D-I-C-K, as most Obies are. But he gets along for the most part with everybody in this tank. But there you go. It's finally turned. Look how brilliant that fish is, guys. Super, super, super electric looking blue and that bright bursting orange. What a pretty fish. But I think I might do the next featurette on him. But we'll see, guys. I also kind of want to give some names to some of these other fish that are starting to color up. Haven't done that yet. I think the next fish naming video might be this Silo Tilapia, but we'll talk more about that once a decision is made and we're into that video. Some other things that are going on in this tank are Hawk, starting to get some decent color on him. His mouth is massive, guys, if you can't really tell. I mean, you can a little bit, but I mean, this guy swallowed a whole silverside last night. I was pretty surprised myself, actually. He's probably pushing about 7 inches right now, and our Buko is between 7 and 8. So those are definitely the two bigger fish in the tank, lengthwise at least. And then our Venustus is probably about 6.5 or so inches, really chonky. Pretty sure it's a big girl. Well, we'll see. Maybe one day, if it is a boy, it'll decide to boss up. I'm not sure why he's doing that right now. I don't think it's flashing. None of these fish have flukes. They've been treated. They get treated about once a month just to be safe. So I don't think that that's what's going on here, but we'll see. Maybe I do need to do another treatment of the Metroplex for these guys, though, just to kind of take care of some things, just in case, because, I mean, I haven't had any new additions or anything of that nature, but, you know, you never know what might be down in your substrate, guys. So it's always a good idea to kind of do it every now and again, periodically, I would say, you know, every couple months or so. I'll treat these guys for all kinds of bacterials, antifungals, things like that. I try to do it very sparingly, but again, a few times a year just to kind of keep them tip-top shape, as healthy as possible. As you guys can see how brilliant and beautiful they're doing. So, you know, I do my best to really take care of these fish, guys. And if you haven't seen it before, we'll take a quick look at the hardware underneath the tank. So currently running 2 FX6 filters underneath this tank. One of them has a UV on it. I thought about putting a UV on this other one, but I mean, guys, do you see a need for that? Because, I mean, I really don't. I feel like it's just wasted money. I'd rather put another power head or maybe something to polish the water further. I was thinking, I have all this space right here. I know the wine box is there right now, but I could shuffle a little bit. I was thinking about maybe putting a smaller canister on there and just literally just filling it with floss as a polisher. But in order to get like the gallons per hour that I would like, I think it would have to be at least an FX4, if not a smaller canister such as an Eheim that has a little bigger output than those smaller Fluvols do. There's Tangy trying to show off a little bit. Check that out. And look at all the chips here on Starboy, the Star Sapphire. Looking really good. So let's talk about all the fish in this video. Or I mean, this video. Well, we're already talking about them. Let's talk about all the fish in this tank that already have names. So if you've been following along, you might know Tangy was actually the first named fish. I just named him. He's a tangerine tiger, so hence the name Tangy. Also, he's kind of chill, even when he's a boss. I mean, he doesn't really run at people, but he definitely will flare up and flash and say, hey, you know, get out of my way, man. So also, my wife named this Tetrastigma. It's kind of a nickname, more or less, than a name at this point, but his name is Cojones because look at all of his giant egg spots that he has down there. Or at least that was my wife's reasoning as to the name. So we also have our Ruby Red here. His name is Old Red. He was the first fish in this group of fish to really kind of color up, and then he sulked for a long time after Baloo. Where is Baloo? There he is, back here behind the log. After Baloo stole his girlfriend, who's in the other tank now, but it was our strawberry female. And then these two have been like mortal enemies ever since. But so Old Red, and then Baloo, the electric blue Ali right here. And then let's see, who else have I named already? So obviously we just named our VC10. That's V. We have Starboy, who is transitioning to Star-Lord. As you see, he's continually getting more and more and more chips. And then we also have Brody here. He was named by Cat Rose. Shout out to Cat Rose here. And then we have Dolph Lundgren, our blue dolphin. And then our black-orange dorsal lithobae, his name is Vader. And then our big Sinnoh is just named Fat Cat because he's a hoss. He's just a chunky guy. You can't really tell because he's really got himself in the rocks. And then I think our other Sinnoh, the smaller one, is hiding down in here somewhere if Richard would move and not be hit himself, as usual. But up there, inside the log, our smaller Sinnoh. Doesn't particularly have a name yet, but as a nickname, I've just been referring to him as Little Cat for now. I'm not quite sure the sex on either of the Sinnohs, to be honest with you. I haven't really vented a lot of these fish. Some of them I have, some of them I haven't. Mostly just the African cichlids. As you all know, if you've been following around, our known female that's in here is our Candango or Redfin Boreal, whichever name you prefer. But that's Flare. It's my wife's favorite fish, actually, so that's why she's still in here, and also because it hasn't been an issue with this fish in here as a female so far. Excuse me, guys. Very sorry. So I think our next fish that's going to color up is going to be our Super Red Empress. Getting kind of close. I know it doesn't quite have all that extra red and everything that everybody is used to seeing. But, you know, it's not in a species-only tank, guys. And this fish is only, I would say, about 5 inches. So, you know, still got some time and places to go. There's many of fish that are in this tank that are, you know, 20% or so larger than he is. Definitely a guy, though, because check out those pointed fins that have been getting more elongated. So only a matter of time, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully that'll happen soon. I can't wait. You know, this tank just seems to garner a little bit more color each week depending on what's going on. So let's take a quick look at the 112 for you guys. So we're going to walk over here. These guys are pretty fired up. Our little pullet cichlid. Oh, look at that. He went from mask on to mask off and 0 flat right for you guys. Our thick-barred Chitimba got some nice color going on this week. Those really electric undertones in that orange throat, looking really nice. Really starting to get the yellow on his fins and stuff. Hopefully he'll start to get more of that pearl color sometime soon. I'm pretty sure that this is a male fish. You see the tips. So they can get fairly good size for an mbuna. This fish could probably get about 5.5 or so inches. Right now I would say maybe 3 3/4 or 4 inches. Very thick, chunky fish though. Looks a lot bigger than it actually is. But I mean, for perspective, this Maylandia here is about 5 inches. So look at the difference in those two guys. But Nairai gang doing well in here as usual. Check out our piebald Nairai if he can get down where the light will hit him a little bit better for you. You can really see all of his golds and blues and stuff as opposed to just his red fins, but everybody in this tank is doing well. I gotta move some fish around soon, and we gotta finish this off, redo the stand and get it up and running. You know, I'm not quite sure what I've decided to do with this yet. I mean, should I make it a breeding project? Maybe I can move Flare over there and get another Redfin Boreal that's a male and make that the first breeding project, or maybe I can move all of the peacocks and obies over there, perhaps stick with the Africans, or, you know, like, honestly, I was thinking maybe go South American, get some geos and some things like that, big fire eel, you know, do like, maybe even do a blackwater tank if I did that, guys. I mean, I'm not sure, so let me know in the comments below what you might like to see in this tank here in the near future. I know I've asked it before, but I'm looking for some response, guys, because this channel is about the fish and it's about you guys. And, you know, I'm happy with just having my fish. So, you know, one other thing to report is Fry Guy will be coming back to this tank after next weekend. Next weekend, there's not going to be a live Sunday swim because I will be away, obviously, with it being Mother's Day. Got to be a good mama's boy and go visit my mom. Just kidding. I'm not really a mama's boy, but definitely going to go visit my mom for Mother's Day and probably cook her a nice dinner, as I generally try to do on Mother's Day unless I have to work because I am a chef. This year I do happen to be off, so I think I'm going to go do that. Our shrimp and guppy tank doing pretty well down here. Some of these little blue sword guppies got some nice color on them. Of course, the camera doesn't want to focus now all of a sudden. There we go. But see those flares and stuff like that. Now, one thing to report in this tank, there's been a lot of shrimp die-off, but I also have some baby shrimp, which I don't know if it's going to be easy enough to catch them on camera for you guys to see right now, but there's definitely at least a half dozen or more baby shrimp in here. I've seen them in the last few days, and they're like minuscule. They're like, a couple of them were like the size of this stratum right here almost. And then I think they might be two separate batches, because there was some that were about half the size, kind of like the size of this stratum, like I said, and then some that were a little bit larger, almost double that size. Our duckweed has taken over the top of this, guys. I think I might actually start feeding some of the duckweed to the Umbunas and the Victorians just to get rid of some of it. We'll see. I'm gonna kind of let it get a little bit more of that second layer, and then I'll probably start culling it in that nature. And I still haven't gotten any rams or keyholes to put in here. I'm still kind of thinking about that. Haven't really got much activity out of the guppies in terms of breeding. I mean, like here and there, yes, but I was hoping for more. And honestly, like, I've had setups very similar to this in the past, and they bred like wildfire, but for whatever reason, these guys just, I don't know, maybe I'll up the temperature a little bit, see if that helps. Probably will. But I mean, this tank is holding steady, 78, 79, so shouldn't really be an issue temperature wise. But as you can see, everything going really well in this tank, guys. Plants are really kind of growing up, and a bunch of little snail colonies have broken out of these plants, which, whatever, that's okay. They can be, you know, food one day, perhaps, if I get too many of them. So no problem with that, guys. Let's go back to the big tank. So let's take a long shot for you guys, because we haven't seen that yet this time. But everything really nice and clear. Lots of nice water flow. I know I kind of showed you guys the hardware down below. And then obviously, if you've been following along, there's a wave maker here. There's a wave maker there for surface agitation on this side. My FX vents are pointed upwards a little bit to break the surface as well. And then on this side, really much so, our big surface breaker, our big pusher. This pushes 3,745 gallons an hour, if I remember correctly. So really moves that water along, guys. If you want me to make a video and explain, in my opinion, what are necessary hardwares for African cichlid setups and the things that will really make your life a lot easier and keep you from having to do so much tank maintenance, etc., and really ultimately and most importantly, just keeping your fish healthy, I could definitely do a video outlining all that. As you guys also see, I got the pothos going on up top here. Hasn't really grown as fast as I was hoping for. I think that's because you can see these plant holders, if they'll move. There we go. And then there's one over here. You can barely see the roots sticking out of the bottom because these guys keep nipping the roots away. But these plant holders have enough depth that they're not able to nip the root entirely, that the plant dies. So I think that's part of the reason why the plant hasn't grown as fast as it normally would. Although the one that's in my sump on the 112, very slow growing too. But I mean, I also, maybe that part of that has to do with I generally have fairly low nitrates. So I mean, maybe there's just not enough nutrient to support that plant growing much faster than it is. But it is obviously keeping it alive, and it is obviously helping with my water quality control. So that's a win and a win, in my opinion. So let's take one last look at V, our newest named fish. And I will see you guys not next week, but the following week. Remember, subscribe if it's your first time here. Please follow along, support the channel. We're almost monetized, and then we can start doing bigger and better things for you guys. And then, so not next week, but the following week, I'm going to try and go live again. I will try and post a couple videos this week, maybe another featurette, maybe another fish naming video. Or, you know, like I said, if you guys want to learn more about the mechanics of my setup and what you need to run a successful African cichlid community, in my opinion, I could probably do a video on that for you guys as well. I also need to go ahead and replace this heater. They keep knocking it out of they keep knocking it out of its little rubber grommets. And this heater is ancient, so it kind of makes me nervous, especially with them being able to knock it out. We'll see what's happened. Maybe I'll get a new one there too, but I'm not sure. So anyways, guys, enjoy the rest of your Cinco Sunday. This was your Cinco swim. I will see you in the next one 2 Sundays from now. Make sure you check those descriptions for the links to the other videos that were posted this week. And thank you guys for all the love and support. Matty Fish out. Have a great Sunday and a great Cinco.